Alright, we should be live. Let me go ahead and check. We are in fact live. Awesome. Alright, hello everyone. Ace here. Welcome to the live stream. I'm joined today with returning guest, Doctor Kalkyl.
Hello.
And today we are, of course, going to be doing a live stream reading of issue 14 of Knights of the Old Republic for Star Wars. We already have some comments here. Decoys apparently says, I do be feeling miserable, though. Some company from a stream should be nice, though. Well, hopefully things get better for you, Decoys. I know some people have been having some tough times, and, well, this day and age, that seems to be more frequent, unfortunately. But hopefully things do get better for you. But, yeah, alright. So anyways, to get to the, well, before we get started with the stream, I was actually talking with Kalkyl here, where I've actually got some good news on my end, at least, and that being that with regards to the with regards to the comic books, I've actually managed to get a few of the rare ones through the mail, and hopefully we'll be, once I get a proper scanner and all that, we'll be able to scan them and be able to do streams on them at some point. Specifically, I've gotten the first of the two issues, I've gotten the second of the two issues of Future Cop. And I also got the one issue of Crimson Skies. Decoy says, thank you, matey. Good. You're welcome. Oro says, things are always better when what I've read is not the High Republic. Yeah. Anyway, so, Kalkyl, how familiar are you with the Crimson Sky setting?
Not at all.
Well, that'll be rather convenient when we cover it, because it's probably going to have to be as much of a lore live stream as it is a comic book one. Just like the Battle Tanks live stream, where I ended up going over the lore of that. But for those who don't know, the setting of Crimson Skies, it's a alternate history 1930s. It's, the premise is, basically numerous things happened in the U.S. that caused the U.S. to essentially break up, and along with it Canada, into a bunch of smaller nations. And also, because of the way it happened, these nations have destroyed the roads and railroad tracks and whatnot, so now everyone uses airships to travel. And this has resulted in air pirates. So, pirates who are flying around in airplanes, attacking airships to steal loot and stuff like that.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting little setting, and you've got some pretty unique aircraft designs from it as well, like the Brigand, which you'll see used a lot by the industrial states and stuff like that. There is a bit more to the lore as well, which, like I said, I'll be going over, but that's the general premise of it. And it became, originally it was a board game, although before that was supposed to be a PC game, but the PC game came out after, so... Winners King says hello. Hello, Winners King. It also got a game on the Xbox. Pretty good games, all things considered. Decoy says, sounds like a normal day under good old Joey Boy. You have no idea how accurate that is. Alright, Winners King says, working so I can listen today. Okay. But yeah, like I said, that's the premise of Crimson Skies. It's an alternate history 1930s where you have the U.S. is broken up, and also there's some other stuff, like if I remember correctly, the lore of the Russian Civil War never really ended by the 1930s and is still ongoing. Stuff like that, for example. But yeah, it's mainly focused around the U.S. and Canada, so anyways. It's actually... Oh, and on that other subject, the Future Cop, how familiar are you with that, Kalkyl?
Neither that.
Oh. So, Future Cop, the best way to describe it is... It's a game... Okay, so it's originally a game. Originally was supposed to be part of the Strike franchise, but became a standalone title of sorts. More of a spiritual successor. Also, arguably, the world's first MOBA. At least the multiplayer portion of it. And it actually does it in a rather interesting way. I highly recommend trying it out. But anyways, so the plot of it is it's 2098 and you are a rookie cop in Los Angeles. And this being the 1990s when this game and comic book came out, you get to be a cop in a giant transforming mech.
You caught my interest. Keep going.
Yeah, so for example, I know one part of the comic, apparently you're controlling a riot, and the character says he is going to, and I quote, use his electric gun and flamethrowers.
Peaceful.
So yeah, that's kind of stuff. Oh, and also the gangs that you're dealing with are basically super gangs. Like in the first mission of the game, you take down a guy named Mysterio, whose gang, the Observers, have turned an observatory into basically an anti-aircraft platform that has shot down spaceships as well.
Is it a laser?
Yes.
Yes! I love it.
Urus says, Future Cop now with more gun and police brutality, also space... Yes, that's another thing. The prison guards in Future Cop are Ultramarines. They look exactly like Ultramarines.
Oh, no.
Which might explain why there's only one game. Even Electronic Arts couldn't stop the power that is the Games Workshop lawsuit.
Oh my.
Also, the criminals in the prison apparently stole some uniforms, so the inmates in the prison are now salamanders.
Oh.
Judging by the green uniforms. But, yeah.
That's, yeah, alright.
Decoy says RoboCop, but anime. Yeah, you're basically... the mech is basically an Ed 209. On steroids. Like, you get other stuff, too, like mortars that you just rain down on stuff, because it's a cop game. Yeah. The light weapons of your game are miniguns, flamethrowers, and stuff like that, you're in for something rather special. Anyways, let's go ahead and actually get into Knights of the Old Republic here. Scoring fast cash on the battlefront. Sounds like this is going to be an interesting idea from Griff.
Mm-hmm.
Days of Fear, Part 2. With money and time enough to make their own arrangements, fugitive Padawan Zane Carrick and his gangster partner Griff finally part company with the Arcadians who've helped them. The addled inventor Camper and his fierce protector Jarrell. But neither party seems headed for peace and quiet. Teamed with the neurotic starship thief Slisk, Zane and Griff find themselves aboard a flying commissary, one headed for the Republic's battlefront with the warlike Mandalorians. Aboard the Last Resort, a stowaway ambushes Jarrell and Camper. The heavily armed assassin droid HK-24 wants to take the old man alive, and it doesn't care what it does. It doesn't much care what it does to Jarrell. Alright, Winter's King says, sad Ace missed my Games Workshop joke. Okay, let's see, read it. Winter's King says, Games Workshop, you can't use that, it's mine, I stole it fair and square. Yeah, that is perfectly accurate to describe Games Workshop. Or it says, I also recommend G-Police for a police bullshit game with lots of gun and... Okay, I do actually have G-Police. I need to try it out. I haven't tried it out yet, but I do have it. Decoy says he'll see it, don't worry. Yeah, I did now. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Do you want to voice the droid here? Kalkyl, your mic is muted. Just to let you know. It might actually be something you already know.
Yes. Oh. Sorry, yes, I did mute my mic. I was not just that I was speaking such... Okay, yes. I'm sorry. Let me try that again. Release the objective female adult. Objective must not be damaged, and HK-24 intends to damage you. It's picking up, right? It's not...
Yeah, it's coming in
Passing
loud and
by.
clear perfectly.
Good. Analysis. Female adult persists in holding objective. Conclusion. Employ utility vibroblade to detach offending organic features. Permit HK-24 access to limbs female adult.
I would prefer not to. I love how this droid is so polite. Can I cut your arms off?
I know, right?
Or it says,
What a
no, Kalkyl is self-censoring.
Yes, let's continue. Identification. TILB loaded droid bulk. 5th degree drone. Moron. Suggestion. Load self into garbage chute. Activate.
This droid is basically 4chan.
You should kill yourself, retard.
That pretty
Very
much.
nice.
Oh my god, it's like... This is like an anon green text already. Especially with the "may I please cut your arms off" bit earlier. That's the sort of weird cringe I'd expect from a green text.
Yes. Right. Query. Where is non-objective?
Crack.
Is this activity female adults' organic life functions cannot be terminated if female adult keeps moving? Matter of fact, he's not lying.
Yeah. Alright, let me read this line here.
HK-24 waited 0.28 billion milliseconds to capture objective. Further delay irritates HK-24. Delay complete. Thank you for your compliance,
Roland! Let me read some comments here, 'cause that droid was already pure gold. Assassin droids always end up quirky, as all get together, and volatile, very volatile. Winter's King says the best droid. Decoy says the 4chan hackers have gotten a hold of a Star Wars droid. We're doomed. Ruda says the only thing 4chan can hack into his porn databases. That's why we now have thought. Also, okay. Which case says, what's her species? Is that an Arcanian or? Yeah, that's an Arcanian. They already mentioned that, but yeah, that's an Arcanian. Let's go ahead and carry on. Where did you come from?
Do I take Roland?
Yeah, go ahead.
One of those traveling compartments you have here. Drain, is it?
Jurel, and those are camper specials. We use them to smuggle people who... Wait, you've been aboard our ship since Flashpoint? I thought you were leaving with Squint and the Jedi for Coruscant.
That was not for me. Coruscant is no place for a Mandalorian on his own. I've been looking for the chance to shed my armor and leave on your previous stops, but there was almost always someone on board. When I heard you battle, I decided to take a look.
Well, I'm glad you did. However, you got here. That thing was after my friend and nearly got him. I don't suppose they train you guys in first aid?
Certainly, I have seen the medics at work, at least. One doesn't need training to see your friend needs help. His name?
Camper, the name I know anyway. He saved my life again and again.
Then we will save his. Show me to his quarters.
Winner's King says HK-47 was the best, but this will suffice, yes. Meanwhile, at a Republic stationed area near the Mandalorian front. Camp 3, command. This is Short Haul Leader.
I take that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hold and circle, short haul. We're a little backed up from the last wave.
That's alright, command. I see a parking spot right over there.
What the? Negative, go around! Look out!
Alright, I think this is Griff and the other guy, so I'll voice Griff. Wow, Huh?
I don't think so. It's not clear.
Yeah, alright, I'll voice this as two different characters. Wow, just enough room to put down the landing ramp.
Don't be surprised. That's fleet ship. That's what the Admiral calls him. Hottest spacelift jockey in the Navy. He could park a tanker on a bar stool.
I think I'll let you voice that guy on the left and I voice Fleet.
Looking good, fleet. At this rate, you'll have the whole camp landed by nightfall.
It'll have to wait, Sergeant. Any good places to eat around here?
Well, the Army's commissary just opened this morning.
Ah, then the answer would be no.
No, I was gonna say we've been going to this great what? We've all been going to this great fringe wagon all week. Best food I've ever had.
I'm not sure that's saying much, Army.
Nah, check it out.
Welcome to the Little Bevoli, gentlemen. We have a lovely table for two that's just opened. And our cook has just put out some fresh Bevoli tempari. I know you wouldn't think a Trandoshan could cook, but apparently no one ever asked them. Looks like the whole Republic's here.
Yeah, when the Mandies get here, they'll have to eat standing up.
You know, voice the Trandoshan?
We're running low on plates again, Master Griff.
Restock the buffet, Slisk. I'll see what the holdup is. Oh, I see the holdup. More labor problems. What's the deal, Zane?
I'm using the force to keep from losing my mind. That doesn't sound like a proper sentence. Anyways,
Can you use it to speed things along? Convince the plates they're clean or something?
this is crazy. We shouldn't be here. Someone will recognize us.
We've been recognized as the place to be in Camp 3, that's what. Look, we didn't want to be here, but now that we are, we might as well make the best of it, and we are. I'm making money hand over fist.
You? Listen, I don't think we should...
Shh. Blasted droid. Terrific. Another serving droid's fouled up. The fingers we stole this ship from didn't exactly keep up their equipment. Well, you know what to do. Come on, henchman. Someone's got to look after the droids when they foul up.
What's wrong with you?
I'm the host. How would that look?
I
think that's your
character. No, sure, why not? Hard enough to keeping clean in this mud hole without this junk happening. Just a moment, sirs. I can take care of this. Yeah? Who's gonna take care of my uniform, slime ball? The meals will be on the house, sirs. They're on us! With the Mandins coming, we're gonna be living in these clothes. I'll see what I can... Oof! Oh, and, sorry, master, sir.
You're lucky you're a Fringer, boy. On the Courageous, the Admiral would space you for that. It's alright, kid. Admiral Karath won't bite. He's already eaten today. The first thing a new Admiral does is show off his rank whenever he can. There's got to be at least one person in the camp he's missed on his walking tour. Your food looks pretty good. You got a name?
Strad Camper.
You're pretty young to be out here with the Fringers, aren't you?
It's alive. You go where it takes you.
You know, I know what you mean. I never thought I'd be back at this place again. But the military's like life. You go where it takes you. Oh, sorry, Lieutenant Karth Onasi, at your service.
Onasi?
Onasi.
Oh, yeah.
I should be back on Telos with my family right now, but the onslaught pretty much ruined my leave. Now the Navy's been called in to help the ground pounders get their act together down here before the bucketheads show up.
Aren't you guys getting up awfully close to the cities? Or setting up?
What? Oh, you mean the Stirrup cities.
Stone things.
They belong to the Stirrup. They're those tall guys. This is their planet. Oh, there are human settlers from the Republic here, too, but they're on one of the nicer continents.
Do they have military? Okay. Do they have military camps in their front yards too?
I don't know. Who decides where the emplacements go? I leave the landscaping to the professionals.
Your admiral, is he landscaping?
Kareth? No, no. The Republic tells the armies what to do. We just handle the space lift. I don't think the Admiral would ever run a defense like this. I've been with him for a while now. I trust his judgment. I'm a flyer for him on the Courageous when I'm not playing loader droid.
Excuse me, wait a minute.
Alright, let me go ahead and read some of the comments here. Aura says, with the robot now gone, we must return to our scheduled dose of drama and adventure. Hopefully more adventure than drama. Winners King says, sad to see Jedi Boy getting NTR'd by a Chad Mandalorian. Makes sense why so many Jedi turn to the sad, though. Aura says he's the biggest, chosen one of all. Winter's King says, me, Season SJW, the ghost of Rudyard Kipling. There's a sore decline in Adam's line of, this will be the spawn of the earth. Winter's King says, wait, that's Karth from Kodora 1. Wait, it is.
Oh, really? I haven't played that game, so I wouldn't know.
Rose says Millicarium. But yeah, yeah. Alright then. Anyways, let's go ahead and carry on. That's coming out of your cut, you know.
It's too bad you can't do something for these people.
Well, up until the onslaught, this planet was a backwater. Actually, one of my first posts was on the orbital watch station here. It was so boring that we used to call down false tornado alerts to the stirrups. It gets pretty stormy around here, and they're not real handy with technology, so they're glad to have us to warn on. But they're pretty gullible, too, and we could send a whole city's population down to the catacombs whenever we felt like it. So this guy is just admitting that, yeah, he trolls the entire population by telling them falsely that there's a tornado coming.
Well, better they hide than, get blasted to bits.
Yeah. During sporting events, festivals, you name it, kind of fun to watch them above for a while anyway.
It stopped being fun?
Senator complained. Also, I got down here and met a few. Didn't seem so fun after that. Well, I love a lot of metal to move. Well, I have a lot of metal to move. Shad Camper, the Mandalorians will be dropping in tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
I wouldn't worry much. They'll have to get past the Admiral first. This wouldn't be a surprise attack like before. And if they do land, they'd be the smartest to try the planes on the other side of the continent and engage us somewhere in the middle. Besides, it's like you say, they come here, they've got a good chance of wrecking the cities. Mandies don't like the spoils of war. Here. Mandies don't like to spoil the spoils of war. Here. That's for me, and for the stirrup. Take it easy, kid. And my compliments to the chef. Uru says... Or Winter's King says, that's your companion, Karth Onasi. Yep. Ura says, good comic with connections to the proper lore and games. You know, the good old days. Yeah. Because now we have things like Not So Snow White and the Seven Brigands of Varying Heights.
Beautiful description.
I love how they actually... how it's backfired, because now they've erased representation by making only one of the seven dwarves, well, be properly cast.
Mm-hmm.
It would be like... I remember when activists used to complain about the fact that John Wayne played Genghis Khan in a movie back in the 60s. And yet here they are doing the exact same thing themselves.
Yeah. But remember, it's okay when they do it because they believe the right things. Yeah, that's it. That's an excuse. Because it's not like everyone believes they believe the right things.
Mm. Anyways, let's carry on. After the dinner rush.
Griff, I think we should try to pull out now. Context.
Pull out? With all this money here?
It's war. It's a war zone. You shouldn't like it much when Let me try that again. It's a war zone. You didn't like it much when the Mandis arrived on Vancra.
Yeah, but we didn't have an army protecting us then. A hungry army that carries cash. In fact, I've decided we should start staying open through the night.
What?
These guys eat in shifts, henchmen. So we serve in shifts. I'm not leaving money on the table, literally. Though money on the floor is good, too.
How am I ever going to clear out our names if we keep drifting from scram to scram?
Clear names are overrated. I wanted to be a wanted criminal. The only unwanted criminals are the lousy ones in turn. Lousy and broke.
Intern again. I thought I was done with that. Never mind, I'm going to get some air.
What, you're taking your break now? Well, hurry back. You've got the first night shift. And take your hat.
What am I doing here? What are they doing here? I see what they're doing. I see a defense without honor.
Agreed.
Wait, hold.
Alright, so these are two different characters.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
Agreed. What is your command, Mandalore?
Let them see what such a defense deserves.
Alright, you got one more line.
Let them burn.
Already things are starting to heat up.
Damn.
Boom.
Have you seen Doom? No, not Dune, not Doom.
Yes, I have. And yes, this is reminding me of that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me read some of the comments here before we carry on. Winter's King says, yeah, basically everything coming out of Hollywood is garbage now. Sometimes they accidentally make something that is entertaining, from what I've been told. Have you heard the story about what's been going on with the new Barbie movie, for example?
You mean how it's ironically turning into a fucking the most what's it called? Pro men's rights activism movie ever.
Yeah. I,
Ah, yes, I love that.
I was actually seeing someone complaining in the comments saying, we shouldn't turn everything political. From the crowd that thinks everything is political.
Uh-huh.
He also,
I mean, even more so with this movie in specific. Like, this is literally supposed to be a fucking politics movie. This is like, there is no way you can misinterpret this movie as trying to be anything but a political piece.
well, it ended up achieving its wish, although not in the way it deserved. Or intended, I mean. It got exactly what it deserved, or the movie makers did.
Yeah.
Oroso Sim says, the Barbie movie has created conservatism. Long live the kingdom.
The kingdom shall rise.
Oro says, he is like, work more, gain more, but you work and I gain, everyone wins. Oro says, exterminatus. Yeah, that's basically what's going on right now. Winter's King says, Chad Mando Crusaders were the best and most unique faction in Star Wars lore. They're pretty good. They're pretty high up there. There's some others I think that are pretty solid as well, but yeah, they're pretty high up there. Siege says, orbital bombardment cleared for engagement for the Emperor. Yeah. But yeah, so like I said, that person complaining about the Barbie movie saying, well, no, it's a movie that's trying to push equality. Even though the Kins are not actually treated as equals at the end of the film. But that he claims it's the entire point. But okay, so they were treated as equals at the end of the film, but they were on the road to it. We just can't see it. If it's the whole point of the movie, then why can't we see it? You just said yourself it's the whole point of the movie.
Uh-huh. It's just really bad message. Like, it's not really that good. Like, at least not in the way it's trying to be. And it certainly isn't very good at, if it's... Well, it isn't, but if, hypothetically speaking, the message was that we should strive for equality, it's a terrible movie too, because its message is essentially that you cannot... the genders cannot cooperate, which is a great message to send. Also, here's a meme that I just stole.
You want to know what's funny and what I've been thinking of doing? But you want to know what's funny and what I've been thinking of making a video on with regards to the whole thing?
Alright, sure, what?
So, there's a game that came out in the 90s. The game happens to have a very similar overall theme. The game is unironically titled Gender Wars.
Go on.
It's a strategy game where it is a literal battle war of the sexes. So you have a side of men and a side of women fighting each other for control of the Earth. It's, by the way, set in the future, but
of course.
Okay, so here's the thing. So the game actually does get the whole... does actually have the message of whole men and women should work together. Because regardless of who actually wins, the ending is pretty much the same. The side that wins... And by the way, this isn't just something that happens immediately. So it's not like in Barbie where the Kens take over almost instantly. This is an actual legitimate war. Right? With war crimes and all. And at the end of the game, regardless of which side you pick, the ending is that whoever took over does create a society temporarily to push their one gender and the other, losing gender being a second class. However, that falls apart very quickly, and it turns out that both men and women need each other to work together, and that's the whole point of the game, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So, Gender Wars from the 90s, a game from the 90s that was a joke game, is able to do the whole plot of what we're told Barbie was supposed to be about better than the Barbie movie.
Mm-hmm. God.
Oh, by the way, to make this even funnier, in the manual, do you want to know what the men's version of history is called? It's got a little title for it. You want to know what it's called?
Uh-huh.
Yes. Just guess.
I can't.
All right. So the men's version of history in the game in the manual is called, and I quote, "Get back in that kitchen."
Oh my god. Oh, beautiful.
Sage says, "Your shelter shall become your tomb, Emperor Kin." He's a Kin bro, lol. Or says, "Legitimate war crimes are only truly legitimate when they have war crimes." Winter's King says, "Kin deserves so much better, lol. Barbie is so abusive and evil throughout the whole movie."
Mm-hmm.
Unironically, yes. Siege says, "The levels of parody could be amazing for an RTS, lol." Yeah.
Oh, dude, hold on a second. I have a Twitter post someone shared on the Legion server. You know the one.
Okay.
Someone shared this Twitter post, and it's like, this is very brilliant. I think you show that, that's brilliant. You'll like that.
Oro says, "Manual's word of power make me a sandwich." Yeah, pretty much, but it's the John Walker effect. Okay, I see what's going on. At the suggestion, we're going to make this a popular thing. Gather around, kiddos, and aspiring. You may ask, what the hell is any form of media? So I guess it's the idea is whatever form of media makes someone based, right?
Mm-hmm. By accident, mostly.
Yeah. Like, there's a few other cases I can think of where the writers tried to make it so that you weren't supposed to sympathize with a certain character, but they kind of failed spectacularly on that. And one of the really famous examples would be from The Watchmen. I'd say Rorschach gets a lot of people sympathetic to Rorschach because, well, he is the only one standing up to the main villain at the end of the story.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I couldn't say to that. I haven't seen it.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, the other superheroes, all of them, decide to go with the main villain's actual plan to try to the whole idea is he decides to basically manipulate everyone on the planet to think that aliens are attacking the Earth. He does this by nuking New York City, and then making it seem like aliens were somehow responsible for that. And he also, and the reason he's doing this is because he thinks that it's absolutely impossible. It's also, by the way, set in the 80s, and he thinks that it's impossible for the Cold War to just end peacefully, unless he does something like that. Now, I would argue that A, how do you actually trust this guy? B, why is there only just this option and only this option? This guy's, by the way, supposed to be the smartest guy on the planet. Keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
So those two factors in mind, I really kind of are the big factors that make me think, yeah, Rorschach had a point about not siding with the guy that just nuked New York City and killed millions of people. That too.
Maybe, possibly, I don't know. It seems like a kind of retarded decision.
Winter's King says, an accurate title of human history, how men built society, invented labor-saving machines, and fought wars, will protect women and children and make their lives easier. Not too far off, I guess. Uro says, nuking New York City, that is like asking me to elect the aliens as presidents today.
No, Uros, we already did that. No, that's not ridiculous at all. What are you talking about? It's literally reality.
Winter's King says, lol, Uros isn't wrong. So yeah, Rorschach is one of them. I'm trying to think of there's another one that's kind of a similar situation where I think it was from a comic book as well, where Oh yeah, the Punisher's another one where apparently a lot of leftists are really upset about the fact that apparently a lot of cops and conservatives like the Punisher.
Yeah, but that's not the John Walker effect because the Punisher is the protagonist, and you kind of supposed to relate to him. The John Walker effect is specifically for antagonists who the
Ah,
writers actively want to make look bad, but they are so bad at representing their own ideology in a positive light that what they write for the protagonist turns into a character who no one likes, while on the other hand they accidentally make the antagonist who's supposed to represent things that the writer doesn't like, sorry. They accidentally make that character seem like someone with a fucking point.
you mean like New Guy from the New Guy comic?
Yes, exactly that. Literally perfect example.
I would say that there are also cases, though, where they do try to make the protagonist, or at least what the protagonist represents, not seem good, but it fails spectacularly as well. So they deliberately try to make the protagonist unsympathetic, or at least what he's fighting for unsympathetic. Case in point, the Starship Troopers movie, where they tried to make the Federation evil. I mean, maybe, but they didn't really do a good job of showing that.
Yeah, that's a good example.
So I do think there are cases where you
Yes.
can actually, for what it's worth, do that with protagonists as well.
Hmm. I suppose, yeah.
But I think it really is a case of making it also making people who aren't supposed to sympathize with a character sympathize with him. And I do think that does happen with the Punisher, because I know a lot of lefties say the Punisher kills cops. I think, from what I understand, he does. Although my understanding is it's mainly if they're corrupt or something like that. Correct?
Wait, say that again?
Well, the Punisher does kill cops in the comic, from my understanding, but they're the ones that he kills are corrupt cops and stuff like that, right?
Uh-huh.
I don't
That's... Yeah.
I don't think a lot of cops actually like corrupt cops. I'm just going to point that out there. Some might, but I don't think that many of them do. Or
Depends on what
says,
kind of corruption, I suppose.
yeah. Well, if it's the kind of corruption that results in you getting killed by the Punisher, then you probably fucked up.
Then it's definitely a case of you've done something very fucking wrong, yes.
Yeah. Oro says, how can you represent something in a positive light when all the light does is show how horrid your ideology is? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like you need a lot of brainwashing to make your ideology actively palatable. Kind of like how in the Barbie movie, Barbie kidnaps some of the other Barbies and brainwashes them to get them to think that what Ken is doing is wrong.
Uh-huh.
Winter's King says
Curious
the
that...
Sith... Yeah.
No, okay.
Winter's King says the Sith characters in Star Wars The Old Republic are so much more fun than the Jedi and accidentally more moral. You don't even have to do the fully light side path to not really have to make any actually evil decisions. Basically just get to be the feudal lord with magic and fight honorably to protect your people and empire. Alright. I think we should now carry on, because we've been on the tangent on Barbie for a little while. And people are wanting to probably have us read the comic. Anyways, what's that about?
I don't know. But if he's been eating his own cooking, yeah, I'm not going in there.
Shh. Shh. Alright, I think that's your character, yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear you doing the sounds. Oh, well.
Oh, I did.
Anyways, Oh, okay. I guess guess it didn't pick up. Anyways, Griff, wake up. What did you say was the name of this planet again?
Oh, Sirocco, I think.
You've got to go.
What? Did the grease catch fire again?
No, leave the planet. Raise ship right now, tonight. Don't wait for the morning.
Not this again,
Hush and listen. I had a vision, Jedi vision, of the future. At sunset, on the day the Mandalorians arrive, they'll destroy the planet, and they are arriving tomorrow.
You sure you trust all that vision business? Your masters are supposed to be the tops at telling the future, and you know how that wound up.
They were trying to see the future. I was not. I wasn't. Almost never works when I try. When I see something I wasn't looking for, well, I think the Force really means it.
I don't like it one bit. There's money to be made here. I don't mean by me. This planet's worth something. Who trashes something valuable?
Someone who wants to make a point.
Alright, I'll say we've run out of food or something. They won't want us here when the shooting starts anyway. Start tearing down the tables and we'll get out of here.
You'll have to do that. I can't. Because I'm not going with you. I have to talk to Admiral Kereth.
Okay, that's the end of the issue. That is a bit of a... That's an interesting cliffhanger to hang on, for sure. Decoy says, yawns an ideology of absolute libertarianism and sovereignty. Oro says, premonitions of fire. Winter's King says, Siege, the right has a procedural argument against the Punisher. Since he hasn't followed the proper process for justice, leftists don't value the procedure, so they can't use that argument. Yeah, that's a good point. Oro says, it's all about the message, said the Joker amidst all the Mandalorians. I'm now imagining Heath Ledger as a Mandalorian. Oh no.
Carrying a card with a Mandalore on it. It's not about the money.
Siege says, I think their issue with the character has more to do with Punisher's targets as opposed to some ridiculous, vague political statement. He goes after criminals with ruthless efficacy without trial. Yeah, he does do that. But anyways, let's actually get back to the comic here. What do you think of this comic so far?
Going strong, staying strong as it is.
Yep. And I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what happens next, although I do think we should probably wait till next time for that, right?
Wait, what again? Sorry, got distracted.
I said I do think... I am looking forward to seeing what happens next, although I do think it'll be next opportunity for that. But yeah, writing's good. The character development is pretty solid. This is definitely... Well, this is more of a drama issue than an action one. It does set up some pretty interesting plot twists, so I'm interested to see how that goes for sure. Or it says, comic good, need more comic, indeed. But I think we'll be going ahead and calling that. I think next week we're going to be doing... It'll be a return to more High Republic, unfortunately. But let's go ahead and end on a high note by saying that, yeah, this comic is itself is definitely worth reading and definitely worth your time. Is there anything else that you wish to add, Kalkyl?
No.
All Alright, so I think that pretty much is all that needs to be said. So yeah, I think we'll go ahead and call it here. So yeah, this has been Ace.
This has been Kalkyl.
And we both hope to see you all again soon. Till then, take care. Ace out.